Got JT the Pocket Watcher covering the Navy federal play, man. So many folks talk about they know this play, but check it out. I got a real financial advisor covering the whole thing for you. Y'all keep it locked right here. Hey, man, it's Views and Vibes. Grab your drink. Let's go.
Views and vibes, yeah, it's your scene. Groovy nice with that soulful sheen. Music to talk, the stories we weave. Come chill with me is what you believe. Yeah, it's your scene. Groovy nice with that soulful sheen. Music to talk, the stories we weave. Come chill with me is what you believe. Keys on low, bass so tight. Golden hours turning into the night.
This is Pocket Watching with JT.
Hey, Pocket Watchers. Welcome to Pocket Watching with JT. I am certified financial planner Jayson Thornton. That means I am a real financial advisor. I'm not one of these fake gurus playing one on the internet. No. See, I do this in real life. At my firm, I specialize in tax and retirement planning for my clients. But on YouTube, I react to bad financial advice and scammer news. Let's get straight into it. What are we talking about today?
Need more like you, brother.
Well, today we're talking about a subject matter that I touched on years ago, and I knew we would end up right where we are today. Before I give a big intro, I'm just gonna refresh your memories. Maybe it's been a while for some of you. Maybe some of you are asking the question, what is the Navy federal play? What is it? So sit back, relax. I'm gonna show you this video and you can see for yourself what the Navy federal play is.
But you can also take the credit and go get a line of credit, which is cash. Probably more than that too.
I want to hear how we just split the credit. Give him the mic.
Got it for a treat.
So, and please talk to them about line of credits too while you're at it. When you get them.
Yeah.
It's even bigger than line of credit. So if you got somebody coming out the street, so we must be straight to a demographic of what you said. You got a lot of niggas that's gonna come out here and be like, I ain't got shit, fuck that credit, right? But in reality, they don't know is that if I come with a bank where I got 50,000 and I'm not willing to trust nobody to invest, what I'm gonna do is I will go to a bank. You can go to Navy Federal, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, they're the best.
You go to Navy Federal right now and apply for an auto loan. You could pull a VIN number off of car gurus. They'll give you a loan. If you say, okay, look, I'm gonna give you a play. You go in there and say, I need 100,000, right?
What's your credit gotta be?
700 plus, right? I give a blueprint on this show how to build your credit report out in detail. You go to Navy Federal, say, listen, I need to get 100,000. You get a car guru VIN number, and when you get the VIN number, you put it and mark it down 10,000. They cut you the check 24 hours.
A cargo, say that again.
Car guru. Just get a VIN number.
Right.
Hold on. So they trying to tell you just to grab any VIN number off of car gurus? So I'm just curious, like, what if somebody go buy that car? Like every car has a registered VIN number to it. What if somebody go buy that car? I'm just curious. What, you gonna have two VIN numbers out there on a loan or something? That's hard to sound fishy. Just saying.
Shit.
Right. They gonna cut you the check 24 hours. You got 90 days to give them the title. If you don't give them the title, it turns into a personal loan. So they just legally gave you the loan. It ain't nothing illegal. It turns to a personal loan. But ain't no way in hell you gonna go to the bank and get a personal loan. So for everybody out there, if you get your credit up, it's free game on this show. Then what happens is, okay, you got 100,000 from the bank.
Go ahead.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Hold on,
Slow down. We're gonna watch it over and over. Slow that shit down. Do it again. Don't slow. We're gonna watch it over and over.
You just got 100,000 from the bank. It's an auto loan.
Mm-hmm.
It's at 3% for the first 90 days.
3%?
3 to 5%, right?
Damn.
For the first 90 days. After that, it turns to a personal loan. The interest rate go higher. What happens is now you got a bankroll. So now if you want to risk somebody money, risk the bank's money. So when you see a Wall Street trapper, when you see the Earn Your Leisures in the Earners Anonymous, you now can say, okay, well, shit, them folk money anyway. So I'll put 10,000 over there, test it out. See, this is where it now, but what happens is most of us will get the money and go blow it. Instead of going blowing it, you got these white folk money, go invest it. Go figure out and gamble their money. So now instead of rolling dice, you're saying, okay, let me put 10,000 on Ethereum. Let me put 10,000 in Bitcoin and see how.
Oh, so you gonna gamble it on cryptocurrency? Sound like somebody tripping.
Bro, then you start to learn and then you get comfortable because now that's the beauty of all of us. We got communities where you can come and get with people who look like you, who making the same moves. When you got.
That's the problem. People who look like you making the same moves. Come on now. People who look like you making the same plays and scams and making the same moves. Man, don't be out here making the same moves looking like me. Something don't sound right about this. I'm glad we playing this video. Let's dive in more.
Out the streets making $200,000 a month who look like you off of investing money.
Right.
Flipping less than you had. Right? They flipping less than you had, but they making $200,000 a month and they look just like you.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is education and getting comfortable. But if you ain't comfortable enough to risk what you didn't risk your life for, then go get them white folk money with the credit. Come back and play the game with them. That's how you gonna get to the next level. That's how you earn your leisure.
I'm with him.
Big facts.
We're out both buttons. Yeah, both. I'm with him.
That's why he's here.
Y'all remember y'all asked why we travel with it?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, fuck that cash. I'm with him. Y'all can get the cash.
Right.
Yeah, I got everything. And I'm finna get this nigga's number as soon as we get out of here. Like, for real. Like, yes, respectfully.
All right, now, years ago, when I made a reaction video to that little bit of financial education, I got a lot of hate. A lot of people said, JT, you don't know what you're talking about. This is the new wave. You got to understand that you have to give financial education in a way that the street hustler can understand. You got to do what the white folks were doing in order to get ahead. This is what I was told. Now, me being the cornball that I am, the pocket watcher, I said that this was bank fraud, right?
It
this
sounds
is
like
clearly
bank fraud. It really does.
Bank fraud. Now, many people said, well, JT, maybe you're just too much of a hardliner. You just a goody two shoes. This isn't bank fraud. No one will get in trouble with this. Well, let me pull up this indictment that shows that people absolutely do get in trouble for stuff like this. Now, in this indictment, it explains that a pastor who was actually in.
Come on, pastor. Come on, pastor. Man, you supposed to be praying and laying hands and all that. What you doing, man?
My home state of Missouri was running the Navy federal plane. Now, if you take a look at this guy, this individual, he looks like a hustler. When you just look at his picture, now I'm talking.
Look, we ain't trying to judge a book by its cover, but anybody with the Jerry curl slick back like that, I'm just saying.
That you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover. I get that. But when I see a man like this, ain't no way he's getting my personal information. Ain't no way he's gonna get my full name, social security number, all that. I can't provide that type of information to a man like this. Now, as you see, he is a pastor. And normally pastors have a special place in the Black community. But as I said a couple of weeks ago, you have to separate the difference between the position of a pastor and the role of a financial advisor. All right.
And that's the crazy thing about it. Because they're pastors or figures in the church with the cloth, you would feel like they're trustworthy. So you have a lot of congregation members and community members who would actually follow after people like this and get caught up and sucked into place. Believe it or not, I've seen it in my own city with some of my own African-American pastors, man. We got to change the way we do things. That's for real. All right, folks, let's know more.
Gotta pay attention to the difference, right? I have the indictment. I have all of the information here. Now, it's rather lengthy, right? There's a lot of information here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull up the special Pocket Watcher report that can summarize all the information for you.
A Pocket Watcher report. In the Eastern District of Missouri, federal authorities have uncovered a significant fraud scheme allegedly targeting Navy Federal Credit Union. At the heart of this complex operation is Kenneth C. Sparks III, a visiting minister at Faith Walk Ministry in Paris, Missouri, along with several co-conspirators. Investigators revealed that Sparks and his associates allegedly executed a scheme to defraud lending institutions out of hundreds of thousands of dollars by taking out fraudulent automobile and personal loans. The indictment states that Sparks's explicit goal, as revealed in his text messages, was to steal $21 million from these institutions and squeeze as much money out of defendant Sparks' parishioners as they could. Here's how the alleged scheme worked. Sparks reportedly gathered personal and banking information from his parishioners and associates, which he then provided to co-conspirator Terrence A. Quaid, residing in the Northern District of Georgia. Quaid then allegedly drafted and submitted fraudulent automobile and personal loan applications in these individuals' names. Both Sparks and Quaid are accused of coaching several parishioners on what lies to tell.
Hold on. I do legal work myself on the side. You must be crazy to fill out legal documentation for other people. That there alone is fraud. Let's continue.
Lending institutions inquired about the fraudulent applications. After the funds were dispersed, Sparks allegedly took the vast majority of the fraud proceeds for himself, while Terrence reportedly received a 10% cut, plus additional costs for creating fictitious bank statements and pay stubs to support the fraudulent applications.
What are you charging?
Prosecutors allege that Sparks knowingly took advantage of his parishioners, using them to commit fraud, and even described some as retarded and dyslexic, and they don't know how to handle things, to Terrence. Among those allegedly involved was Michael S. McLean, the husband of administrative assistant Maya McLean. He is accused of willingly allowing his name to be used for multiple fraudulent loan applications and knowingly participating in Sparks' scheme. Terrence reportedly coached Michael McLean on deceptive tactics, including instructing him to falsely claim he made $75,000 per year as an accountant. Many of these fraudulent loan applications were for automobiles through Navy Federal Credit Union. Terrence allegedly falsely represented that borrowers were purchasing specific vehicles, but in reality, no such purchases occurred. Instead, the loan proceeds were allegedly used to enrich Sparks and Terrence.
So hold on, let me make sure I get the play. So basically, you're going to get an auto loan for any car that's on Car Gurus, right? Pull up a VIN number. You go to Navy Federal. You're asking for a loan, an auto loan, for a car that you found on Car Gurus. And this could be for a personal, sounds like a personal person, it sounds like. So like this is a person-to-person sale, right? So the car could be for $18,000, right? And your credit's good enough, and you are able to get approved for the loan. So it's just person to person. It wouldn't be a lien holder or institution you would go to, right? So they would give you the check, it sounds like, in that equation. But it sounds like you're letting the loan, the time frame that the title or paperwork needs to turn in, go default, which allows the car loan to turn into a personal loan. And then now you think that, okay, now you got a personal loan for the amount. And what you're doing is, it sounds like, as in this play, it sounds like the pastor is charging the people to run this particular play. So basically, I'll falsify your documents. I'll say you make this much money per year. I'll help you get this loan approved. And you're going to shoot me XYZ for running the play. And that's all sound like fraud to me, but do tell. Let's go.
Total, Sparks and Terrence are accused of taking out at least 10 fraudulent automobile loans amounting to $460,000. These applications were submitted by Quad from various locations, including his Georgia residence and during trips overseas to Ghana. When Michael S. McLean was interviewed by a Navy Federal Credit Union representative on March 14, 2022, he allegedly falsely claimed he applied for the loan without assistance and was unable to correctly answer questions about his employment. He also allegedly falsely claimed to possess a 2021 GMC Sierra, which he had not purchased. Now, to a chilling aspect of this case. When parishioners questioned Harold G. Long, the lead minister, about the loan proceeds in their bank accounts or where the money was going, he reportedly assured them to trust Sparks. However, when parishioners directly confronted Kenneth Sparks with their questions about the fraudulent scheme, he allegedly responded with threats. Prosecutors state that Sparks would threaten parishioners with curses from God and regularly scolded them for questioning a man of God.
Don't bring God into this. That was you out here trying to run them plays. And then you're going to get mad when folks is inquiring because they probably getting some letters making them having to provide proof for the vehicles you done put on their paperwork, and they can't provide it. So when they hollering at you like, yo, Navy Federal hollering at me, and you going to try to cuss him out, talking about, curse you. Come on, you tripping, Pastor, you tripping.
Indictment details various wire fraud activities, including text messages between Sparks and Terrence exchanging banking information and instructions for fraudulent loan applications. It also includes charges of aggravated identity theft for using parishioners' names in loan applications without authority. Furthermore, Sparks faces numerous money laundering charges. He allegedly required parishioners to provide him with signed checks with no listed payee. He then allegedly had the payees listed in the name of his own companies, such as the Miracle Place International Church and Royal European Day Spa, and deposited these checks into his business accounts to disguise the nature and ownership of the fraudulent proceeds. Specific instances include deposits of thousands of dollars in PPP loan proceeds from individuals like Augustine Harden, parishioner DL, parishioner EF, Javante D. Long, Kimberly Sheft, Maya McLean, Nikisha D. Long, and Rosalind C. West into these accounts. The superseding indictment charges Terrence A. Quaid with wire fraud, conspiracy, and aggravated identity theft. The case is being handled by the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Missouri. Kenneth C. Sparks III, 54, was arrested by the U.S. Marshal Service in Florida. A grand jury indicted Sparks on July 17, 2024, with 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, 8 counts of wire fraud, and 2 counts of aggravated identity theft. Harold G. Long was the lead minister and chief executive officer of the church. Maya M. McLean was administrative assistant, and Javante D. Long was a member.
You see how big this get? Not only do you pull in other people, right? So you run into play yourself. Now you want to get some other people into the scenario who work at the church, got them all up in the play, right? And then on top of that, running a simple play that you think, now it got a whole bunch of other charges they adding onto that, man. A whole bunch. This is why, folks, you got to be careful. I'll say it to you like this. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Say more.
T. Oboit lived in Maryland and operated businesses called Angels Management Group, LLC, Emerald Score, LLC, and ONS Construction, LLC. Oboit and McLean were indicted on 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and 7 counts of wire fraud. Harold Long faces 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and 2 counts of wire fraud. Javante Long faces 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and 1 count of wire fraud. The indictment says Oboit taught Sparks and McLean how to submit fraudulent applications for Paycheck Protection Program (PPP) loans. Oboit and Sparks both submitted or caused to be submitted fraudulent loan applications in their own names and received at least $200,000, the indictment says. Included among those fraudulently obtained loans was nearly $150,000 from the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. The EIDL program was another small business administration program intended to help struggling business owners during the pandemic. The conspirators also obtained more than $1 million in PPP loans in the names of others, the indictment says. Sparks abused his position of authority as a minister by obtaining the trust of church members, and then obtained their personal and financial information so he could seek loans in their name. Harold Long assured church members that Sparks could be trusted with that information, the indictment says. Sparks also claimed that he was an apostle of God, whose decisions and decrees could not be questioned, it says. Sparks sometimes told church members that they needed to provide their personal and financial information so he and others could fix their credit scores, the indictment says.
Run plays on them, in other words. So he did 2 plays, it sounds like. Not only did he do the Navy Federal supposedly car loan play, he did the PPP loan play too. So he was bopping them and all over the place. Now he's saying, you got to also give me your financial information because I can't run plays unless I got all these people information to run plays with. Boy, Pastor, you better watch it.
Or that their information would be used to secure funding for the church. Sparks told McLean to create email addresses in the name of church members and told parishioners to open new accounts at a credit union, it says. Sparks also commissioned the creation of false and fraudulent tax documents, the indictment says. Sparks and Oboite also told McLean and Harold Long to submit fraudulent PPP loan applications for businesses purportedly owned by Long, the indictment says. When suspicious credit union officials froze some of the parishioners' accounts, Sparks and Oboite coached church members on the lies they should tell bank officials to free the funds. Sparks reaped hundreds of thousands of dollars from the scheme, the indictment says, and used the money for luxury vehicles, clothing, and merchandise. Charges set forth in an indictment are merely accusations and do not constitute proof of guilt. Every defendant is presumed to be innocent unless and until proven guilty. Wire fraud is punishable by up to 20 years in prison. Each aggravated identity theft count carries a mandatory consecutive 2-year prison sentence. Anyone with...
You heard that? A mandatory 2-year sentence. So ignorance of the law is no excuse. Be careful running these plays, folks, that people tell you to do. This is a great way to make some money. Oh, this is the easy way to get a buck. Bro, just get the Navy Federal play. Bro, stop it, okay? It's going to get you in jail, man. Trying to listen to the homie, and when you run up into the bank, you're not finna come out that bank. I guarantee you that's going to be the outcome because this all sounds faulty, bruh. Let's continue on, though.
Information about pandemic fraud should call the Department of Justice's National Center for Disaster Fraud, NCDF, hotline at 866-720-5721 or report via the NCDF web complaint form at www.justice.gov disaster fraud NCDF disaster complaint form.
All right, so let's summarize this a little quick. I see there's some new people in the chat. They're asking the question, JT, we understand there was a pastor who did a lot of fraudulent loans to Navy Federal, claiming that he was going to buy these cars and all this stuff. He even committed PPP loan fraud. But why do you have the thumbnail that you have for this video? What does one thing have to do with the other? That's what some of you are asking in the chat. So maybe you've been here, not a very long time. You weren't here at the beginning of the live stream. So this is a refresher for those who just jumped in. For those who just jumped in, here's a quick refresher as to why these things connect, right? Check this out.
Break it down.
But you can also take the credit and go get a line of credit, which is cash. Probably more than that.
I want to hear how we just split the credit. Give him the mic.
Y'all in for a treat.
And please talk to them about line of credits too while you're at it. When you get them.
Yeah.
it's even bigger than line of credit. So if you got somebody coming out the street, so we must be straight to a demographic or what you said. You got a lot of niggas that's gonna come out here and be like, I ain't got shit, fuck that credit, right? But in reality, they don't know is that if I come with a bank where I got 50,000 and I'm not willing to trust nobody to invest, what I'm gonna do is I will go to a bank. You can go to Navy Federal, right?
Oh, they're the best.
You go to Navy Federal right now and apply for an auto loan. You could pull a VIN number off of Car Gurus. They'll give you a loan. If you say, okay, look, I'm gonna give you a play. You go in there and say, I need 100,000, right?
What's your credit gotta be?
700 plus, right? I give a blueprint on this show how to build your credit report out in detail. You go to Navy Federal, say, listen, I need to get 100,000. You get a Car Guru VIN number, and when you get the VIN number, you put it and mark it down 10,000. They cut you the check 24 hours.
A cargo, say that again.
Car Guru. Just get a VIN number to apply for the loan.
Right.
They gonna cut you the check 24 hours. You got 90 days to give them the title. If you don't give them the title, it turns into a personal loan. So they just legally gave you the loan. It ain't nothing illegal. It turns into a personal loan. But ain't no way in hell you gonna go to the bank and get a personal loan. So for everybody out there, if you get your credit up, it's free game on this show. Then what happens is, okay, you got 100,000 from the bank.
Slow down.
Hold on, yo.
Slow down. We're gonna watch it over and over. Don't worry.
Let me to play so I can go to jail.
We're gonna watch it over and over.
You just got 100,000 from the bank. It's an auto loan. It's at 3% for the first 90 days.
3%?
3 to 5%, right?
Damn.
For the first 90 days. After that, it turns to a personal loan. The interest rate go higher. What happens is now you got a bankroll. So now if you want to risk somebody money, risk the bank's money. So when you see a Wall Street trapper, when you see the Earn Your Leisures in the Earners Anonymous, you now can say, okay, well, shit, them folk money anyway. So I'll put 10,000 over there, test it out. See, this is where now, but what happens is most of us will get the money and go blow it. Instead of going blowing it, you got these white folk money. Go invest it. Go figure out and gamble their money. So now instead of rolling dice, you're saying, okay, let me put 10,000 on Ethereum. Let me put 10,000 in Bitcoin and see how it grows. Then you start to learn and then you get comfortable because now that's the beauty of all of us. We got communities where you can come and get with people who look like you, who making the same moves.
And the crazy thing that they're not even speaking on is if you put that money in Ethereum or you put that money into Bitcoin, you got capital gains taxes that you got to pay on crypto, and the capital gains taxes is high. So let's just say you try to run the play and things don't work and you got to get that money back, you losing off the top because now you're depending on the price of whatever token you just bought, and you got to pay taxes on that when you withdraw it. It's crazy. Now pay attention.
When you got niggas out the streets making 200,000 a month who look like you off of investing money, flipping less than you had, right? They flipping less than you had, but they making 200,000 a month and they look just like you. The issue is education and getting comfortable. But if you ain't comfortable enough to risk what you didn't risk your life for, then go get the white folk money with the credit. Come back and play the game with them. That's how you gonna get to the next level. That's how you earn your leisure.
I'm with him.
Big facts.
We're out both buttons. Yeah, both. I'm with him.
That's why he's here.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all remember y'all asked why we travel with it?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, fuck that cash. I'm with him. Y'all can get the cash.
Right.
Yeah, I got everything. And I'm finna get this nigga's number as soon as we get out of here. Like, for real. Like, yes,
Respectfully, if all y'all
That's how you earn.
Respectfully, all y'all going to jail. Respectfully.
Your leisure is what they said. And everybody applaud. Rashad, the other guy, the whole crew. That's how you earn your leisure. Now, once again, I understand that there's people out there, you're still skeptics. You're still saying to yourself, JT, okay, they talked about, basically scamming Navy Federal with auto loans on this show a few years ago. Then a man did it, okay? But there's a possibility that the guy in this story, he has no idea who M500 is. Maybe he came up with this scheme all on his own. You cannot disregard the criminal intent of this particular pastor and the people he was working with. Maybe they figured out the scam on their own and it had nothing to do with EYL and him 500. I hear that and I get that. But here's the problem. The problem is this. Shouts out to Tony the Closer. He's in the house. You will be hearing from him and my brother Eli from What Happened to Common Sense in a few moments. But I just got to show you that it's just not me with my tinfoil hat. It's not pocket watcher conspiracy theory. Look at the name. that of the person who DM'd Tony the Closer. Terrence Quaid. Terrence Quaid was a part of the scam, according to the indictment. Remember the story. It was the pastor and a lot of Terrence working together with this Navy federal thing. Now, this is a DM that Terrence sent to Tony. In this DM, let me blow this up. Make sure you can see this. He says, yo, what's up, Tony? Thanks to Marcus, him 500, I am fighting a federal case now. Because of the Navy federal auto loan play he taught us. There it is. There it is. Now, this is just one man who's currently dealing with the feds. But based on what he's telling Tony, I am fighting a federal case right now.
Crazy.
Because of the Navy federal auto loan play he taught us, man. I should have just kept doing wholesale, right? Wholesaling real estate. That's something that Tony the Closer teaches.
Hold on. So dude was making some good legal money, it sounds like. If he up here doing wholesaling on homes, that's some good, legitimate, legal money. What are you doing following the plays, brother? Listen, folks, you got to be careful trying to chase a bag, right? Because chasing a bag can land you in a ditch that you didn't even have no clue was coming up. Because, again, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Well, I didn't know that was a play. Or I didn't know that was illegal. Tell the lawyer that, right? Tell the police officer that, right? And he's going to be like, well, I'm sorry. Turn around and still clink you up, man. So pay attention, folks.
That I am in Rona proof and I have HUDs too. So apparently from what he's saying, I was making money doing something that was legitimate that you was teaching us, Tony. But then I decided to jump on the him 500 in the EYL train. And now he's fighting feds. That's not it. That's not it. We also have apparently, we have a plea agreement that this man is currently working out with the feds. Looks legitimate to me. Could be capping, as the kids say, but it looks pretty legitimate to me.
See, when you get regular people caught up in plays, somebody tell him. It's just off the top. Somebody tell him. And look, he already got a plea agreement ready to go. Pastor, you going to jail. Carry on.
This is the gentleman that is a part of this whole case. He's claiming that all of this came from the knowledge, the wisdom, the financial strategies of him 500 that you just saw on video. And now the man is facing years and years behind bars because of it. All right, well, enough of me. Let me remove myself from it. Let me bring up a couple of my brothers. I've got Eli from What Happened to Common Sense, and I have Tony the Closer here. What's going on, fella? It's been a minute since we all been on cam together.
I think it's been almost 2 years since you and I actually did a live stream back when the whole Caesar and big business stuff was going on, and the whole DJ Envy fiasco that fell apart. But what I really want to highlight here is one of the reasons why I fell back from even making this type of content is that it gets to the point where everything gets blurred, right? Where because this stuff gets amplified by platforms like EYL, and there's so many people that are getting caught up in these different scams and schemes, that everyone that's selling a course, that's doing mentorship, that's educating, or that's an influencer gets labeled as a scammer.
Right.
And this is why platforms like this is important, not just to cover this information, but to teach you the difference between how to legitimately go and get funding, how to legitimately apply for government grants and government programs and government loans, versus how to fraudulently do it. And this is one of the problems of EYL. What pissed me off about them, and which why we started kind of going at them, is because when you bring this to them and you say, hey, you have a responsibility not just to take the video down, but to educate people as to why this is fraud, why this is bad, and what the ramifications will be if you engage in this activity. Because if you look at the Navy Federal quote unquote play, it's legitimate in regards to if you go apply for an auto loan and you don't get the auto loan, meaning you actually fill out the application yourself, you put down the correct information, the right income, and you apply for it. If you don't get it, then it does turn into a personal loan. That's legit. But what happens is that we have a culture in the Black community, the urban sector, that we have to niggify everything. we have to take it and make it some street play, hustle, getting over on the man.
Let me run the play. Let me run the play.
Notice he said you got a guy that's coming home from jail, fresh out. See, they know who they're tailoring this for and who they're going after. And see, that's part of the part two that's so insidious about this, is they're going after people who are going to be attracted to the criminal aspect and element of this, which is predatory in nature, because you're not letting these people know that what you're, first of all, how he phrased it is completely fraudulent. You can't take someone else's VIN number off their car and then go get an auto loan with that. So that right there, you're starting off with fraud. Right?
Thank you. I told y'all that in the beginning of the video. I had a feeling that didn't sound right. I dibble and dabble in the car industry a tad bit, so I didn't think this was right, because what if someone else buys that car you just took a loan out for? You got 90 days to come up with this information, but you had no clue the real dealership who had that car just sold it yesterday. So now there's a new lien holder from another credit union who now has a legit loan on this car that you got paperwork for that you're supposed to provide a title of for. So both of you two now supposed to be providing a title, and you thinking because I'm not going to give it to mine and it's just going to go in default, I'm going to turn mine into a personal loan. Get out of here.
The auto loan is for you to go apply, to go use it for a car, and if you don't, it turns into a personal loan, not for you to go steal someone's VIN number. Now, because he started teaching that, everyone started running the Navy Federal play. What started happening now was that people started trying to fill out applications for other people, taking other people's information. So Navy Federal changed their policy because of so much fraud that was going on. Understand, people, I'm in the funding space. I'm in the credit repair space. If you fill out an application for a loan for someone, you are committing fraud. You cannot fill out an application for someone to apply for a loan. You are committing fraud. Unless you have power of attorney or some type of legal precedence, you are committing fraud. So when people tell you that they can go get you funding and they're going to do all of the filling out the application for you, that is fraud. And what happened was Navy Federal completely changed that policy because so many people were not using the money for the car. They was using the money to go and get funding with it. And
Bitcoin and Ethereum and trying to run up a bag.
People say, well, why are y'all making this content? Why are you trying to tear Black brother down? No one's trying to tear anyone down. Instead, what we're trying to do is we're trying to educate you so that, yes, you want to go get funding, there's legitimate ways for you to go out here and get funding on your own.
One of the main reasons why I put this together here for this review is because of the same reasons. Man, I'm grown. All right, I ain't got time to be listening to somebody give me some false information that's gonna land my ass or your ass in jail when you could learn the information right here of how this is probably not the best thing to do. Once I told you again, I'm gonna tell you again that ignorance of the law is no excuse. You going to jail, fam. All right, you do something like this, you going to jail. Hey, look, y'all stay tuned to the next review. I think y'all got a good gist on this particular video, how this play is probably not legit and probably not the thing to do. Y'all stay tuned to the next video where I'm going to actually show y'all some proof of someone going into Navy Federal trying to run this play, and we're going to see the results, all right? So y'all stay tuned to the next video. Hey, it's your boy Asa Spade. It's Views and Vibes. Hey, this is how we do it, man. Y'all keep it locked. It's your boy.
Views and vibes, don't chill with me. Neo soul grooves and R&B. Asa Spade, where the vibes are lean. Step on in, find your groove, take a seat. Well, don't chill with me. Neo soul grooves and R&B. Asa Spade, where the vibes are lean. groove, take a seat. We talk real talk, news that you